Hey everyone, welcome to the Be Well and Ground podcast. My name's Emily and I'm a yoga teacher and I'm also a mom, and I'm truly in love with people and their stories. I'm really drawn to wellness, movement, and the everyday things that kind of keep us grounded. So on this podcast, you'll find that I will talk with moms, creatives, and wellness professionals about life and also about growth. So let's dive in. Hey friends, welcome back to the Be Well and Ground podcast. I'm so excited for today's episode because it's one of those topics that hits right at home, at least for me. My husband and I were getting ready for a road trip this summer and I had a full panic spiral about whether it was going to wreck our son's sleep, so naturally I did what any of us could do. I googled everything and then I reached out to someone who actually knows what she's talking about. So today I'm chatting with Stella from Stellar Baby Sleep. She's a pediatric sleep consultant, mom of two, and honestly, she's just an easy person to talk to. We're digging into all things baby and toddler sleep on the go, how to prep before the trip, what to do during travel, and how to get back on track as soon as you get home. So if you got a summer trip coming up, or if you're stressing about naps and bedtimes like I was, this one's definitely for you. So let's get into it. All right, we'll go ahead and get started tonight. I am so excited for our next guest. So I'm talking with Stella from Stellar Baby Sleep, and we have a wonderful topic. And it kind of came up because myself and my husband were trying to go on a long road trip, and I was like, uh-oh, how do we do road trips? Our son's finally starting to sleep better. Are we going to mess up our trip by going? I got into this spiral. I was Googling and all the things. And then it kind of come on to us talking together and just kind of chatting online. We've never met in person, but we've met via social. And I wanted to reach out and we kind of wanted to connect about this and how if other families are also experiencing this over summer because it is busy. We want to talk about baby sleep on the go. So that's going to be our topic tonight. I'm very excited to dig in deep, but I wanted to go ahead and just start with our guest. If you want to share about yourself and your business and your family, I would love to start there and we'll get into our topics.
Well, thanks for having me, Emily. This is such a fun topic. I love to travel, so this is perfect. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Stella, and I am a pediatric sleep consultant and the founder of Stellar Baby Sleep. I help families with their baby sleeping and their toddler sleeping through the night, get perfect naps. It's a huge passion of mine. I do have two young kids. I have two girls. One is 5. Her name's Maddie, and then I have a almost 2-year-old. Her name's Emma. I'm married to my husband, Joe, and I also have a dog. His name's Teddy. He's sitting on my lap. This is Teddy right here.
Literally the cutest puppy ever if you're watching on YouTube.
Thanks.
You need to go back.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So yeah, I love my family and I'm happy to be here.
Well, good. Well, perfect. Well, I would love to start at the beginning. How did you become a sleep consultant?
So it started out as a passion. Like I said, was my first two. I loved baby sleep. Both of my babies were sleeping through the night at 8 weeks old. And it was life-changing. Like when you finally get sleep, because you remember, like the newborn stage is so tough when you're not getting any sleep. And you're, especially that first time mom, it's just so, so tough. And so when they're finally sleeping through the night, it's just, I don't know, just so amazing, that feeling. And I wanted other moms and friends to get that feeling too. And so it started out as a hobby, helping friends and family get their babies to sleep. And then I was like, wait, maybe I can try turning this into a side job or, more than a hobby and make it a business. I did get certified recently and launched my own business last year. It's been so much fun.
I love that. The fact that you found something you're so interested in and then all of a sudden you're really good at it. And that's kind of how like things naturally happen. Like for me, I taught yoga, but I did a child
Mhm.
continuing education. And I was like, wait, why isn't there anything for toddlers? And so I just been
Yeah.
hanging out with my friends and I've tried to put something together. And then here we are, and I'm doing a teacher training for toddlers this fall. So it's like
Amazing. Yeah.
so crazy. Well, I think whatever is meant for you never misses you. I think that's what it is for
Oh,
sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Well, cool. Well, let's go ahead and we can jump into travel and sleep. So, why does travel in general throw off sleep? What would you say for so easily for kiddos?
Yeah, I think, you people that have moms that have children get that kids thrive on routine and they love predictability. And so the minute you get in a car or the minute you're on a plane and you're heading on a vacation, it is throwing their routine. They're like, wait, what's going on? They
Yeah.
also get overstimulated. They're
Mhm.
overly excited about this new journey and this new trip that they're going on. And so all of that, the new environment, and then if you're in a new time zone, that also throws things off. So there's a lot of different factors, but those are a couple of different reasons.
Okay. From a broad perspective, before we get a little bit more nitty gritty,
Is there any big misconceptions that there is about travel with sleep and kids?
That's a great question because I will be honest with you. I am a very type A personality
Okay.
and a very control freaky sometimes. And so, even for me as that first time mom, the biggest misconception is if I go traveling, my babies will not be sleeping. I'm not going to have a fun time. It's going to stress me out. And I'm going to ruin their sleep. Like
Yeah.
they're going to come back and their sleep's going to be broken. And so, to me, that's a big misconception, though. And we'll talk through the details of how you can
Okay.
prevent all of that. But yeah, my whole thing is go live your life, travel, do all of the things that you want to do. Experience is so much fun with your children. It's one of the best things in the world. So I definitely encourage people to travel, 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 and you will not break your baby sleep.
Okay. Because honestly, if you were hanging out with me 2 weeks ago, I was like, or was this a stupid decision? Should we go? It was a whole thing. So let's get into it. So before the trip, is there stuff that you can do besides when we will get to the during the travel, but is there stuff you can do before that you can kind of help?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I'm actually packing right now. We're about to go on a trip tomorrow for the 4th of July weekend. And it's just one of those things where you do have to have a mental checklist or a physical checklist. Like packing is going to be a little bit more challenging because now you're not just packing for yourself, you're packing for multiple people. I recommend planning ahead a little bit if you can. And there are definitely things that you need to pack to
Okay.
have that, I would say, perfect sleep environment for your child to make it easier for them to sleep. I think that perfect list is you need to basically try to mirror their sleep environment,
Mhm.
like as much as possible from your home to where their new sleep environment is. So, very loud sound machine,
Okay.
dark room, either bring blackout shades, or for me, my favorite all time baby travel gear is the slumber pod. You
You
could do you have one or do you know what that is?
I bought one because we were about to go. I was like, I need a silver bullet. I haven't used it yet, but I've heard.
Yes, it is amazing. You basically can put it over the pack and play. You can put it over a toddler inflatable bed so it grows as your baby grows. And I mean, you basically can, it's dark for them, pitch black dark for them, and it's ventilated, so it's fully safe. But you can then just walk around if you're sharing a hotel room, like you can walk around in the daylight, still do what you need to do, and it's not disrupting them. So,
Right.
like that room sharing, like you need a slumber pod. It is the best. But then everything else, I would say try to make it as familiar as possible. So, bring their lovey, make sure you're bringing their sleep sack, bring
Okay.
that same bedtime book, make sure you're still bringing milk at bedtime. So, trying
Yeah.
to familiarize like that nothing, not everything is foreign will definitely help with their sleeping.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So once you have all your stuff packed, you took a Disney trip recently, right?
Yes.
Yes. How was that? That was the first time for the kiddos, right?
It was my first time
Oh
too,
gosh.
and it was magical. The ages, it was perfect. My 5-year-old, she's just in her princess era
Oh my gosh.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
And my 21-month-old at the time, she's old enough now where she was able to kind of just go with the flow, and
Mhm.
she was down to one nap. And so it was one of my favorite trips ever.
Oh, good. So let's talk about that. So during travel, and I know you've traveled a ton, what did like your current vacations and just your experience, what has it taught you about balancing the sleep when you're on vacation?
So for me, my recommendation as first-hand experience, but also as a sleep consultant, is you don't have to work your schedule around your baby's schedule.
Okay.
However, try to protect at least some downtime. Don't over schedule the day.
Okay.
And if you can, try to do one nap or try to do one nap on the go, even if it's a quick 30-minute nap, that
Yeah.
is going to help you so much for the rest of the day. You're just overall going to have a happier baby and toddler if you can protect some daytime sleeping, again, even if it's really short. So that is my recommendation. They don't need those perfect two, like depending on the age, they don't
Yeah.
need those perfect two naps. But if you can protect some time, that will really help.
Okay. And what that looks like, so does that mean like how would you handle if someone had a late night? Like, can you walk us through what would the best case scenario be for that one?
Yeah. And again, it kind of depends on the age, but really the golden rule is if they totally did not nap and they
Okay.
still need a nap, you need to do an early bedtime.
Mm.
And if you have a late night, which, that happens all the time in the summer, right? And so if you do have a late night, totally okay. We do it all the time. then the next night, try to do an earlier bedtime. So the key is you don't want to do something multiple nights in a row. So, and this is even a rule back at home. You
Okay.
don't want to skip nap 3 days in a row. You don't want to have a late bedtime 3 nights in a row because that will turn into a routine and a new routine for your baby. And that will change things up a little bit.
Wow. I always thought about that, but I never thought about making sure it doesn't happen repeatedly because I didn't think about the
Yeah.
pattern being a,
Yes.
okay, that's
Yes.
thing. So, for example, if for action tips, if they knew they were going to have a late night, they want to make sure they prioritize some daytime sleep then in that
Yep.
situation. And then if late night, make sure not to have a late night tomorrow. Just go to bed a little
Yeah.
bit earlier.
You can. Yeah, that's ideal. And I totally get some vacations, you need to just pack everything in. Like a Disney
Yeah.
trip, like, you're doing that once every few years and
yeah.
or once in a lifetime, and you want to squeeze in all these things, you want to do the late night parade. That's totally okay.
Yeah.
And if you're not daily making it perfect for them, that's totally fine. Just go home and get back to your routine immediately when you get home. And that first night might be a little bit rough because they're going to be overtired. So they might have some night wake ups in the middle of the night. Just
Yeah.
stay consistent for 3 nights back at home, and they'll go back to great sleeping.
Okay, that's good because that was my fear. I was like, every time we go on a trip, my son does great and he's on a really good routine. I'm like, we're gonna go mess it up.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that it will probably come back to normal when you get back home,
Yes.
get back on your routine. So when talking about travel as a whole, is there any big mistakes that people should just flat out avoid?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just overscheduling. For me, I always joke that, and I don't know how you feel about this, but when I travel with my family, I'm not necessarily feeling relaxed when I come back. It's never a relaxing vacation. It's so much fun, right? Like it's just so fun, but it's not relaxing. But I do say if you can, even if it's an hour of downtime, sitting in the hotel room just an hour, letting the kids rest, that makes a huge difference in how they are feeling. And, they're not overstimulated, then they're happier the rest of your vacation.
Gotcha, that makes sense. Does that downtime matter the time of day? Like, are you trying to coordinate midday, or does it matter just any rest at some point for some nervous system just
Your
to
rest. Yeah. Any rest during the time.
That's very doable, right? So we talked about going on vacation. Is there anything else they can do besides creating that space to be very similar to home, keeping it super dark, being mindful of daytime sleep if they are staying out late? Is there anything additional when it comes to travel that you've noticed with your family that's come up?
Yeah. So what I love, one thing we haven't talked about yet is a portable sound machine. So to me, I think like on the go naps
Mhm.
are amazing. And
Yeah.
if your child can do those, like that's amazing. Like protect that. So
Mhm.
stroller naps or car naps, but a one way to help them fall asleep on the stroller or in a car is a portable sound machine. It's kind of mimicking that white noise machine. And there's some really good ones out there. And it really helps.
Do you have an absolute favorite sound machine that's like you love the sound of it?
Yeah, so I actually recommend to all my families and clients the Dome sound machine. So it's actually an adult sound machine. And I know, so like I have nothing against Hatch. I love the Hatch machine as well. I know those are way more popular. But the difference between a Hatch and a Dome is the Hatch makes a white noise there's like an electronic white noise. Dome is actual real white noise that's coming out of the machine. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense. It's a different
Yeah.
sound.
It's a different sound, and I prefer and I think it works more effectively when it's a real white noise. And then the Dome brand has a portable sound machine.
Perfect. I've seen the ones that plug in before. I did not know they had a portable one. That's really cool. That's awesome. Okay, so if you're on vacation, you're hopefully relaxing. But when you come
Mhm.
home, can you walk us through what the perfect kind of slow back into normalcy would be like?
I mean, depending what time you get home from vacation, but same bedtime routine, same time that you normally would have done before vacation. So that bath time routine. Then I always recommend getting in the pajamas, reading books, milk, kind of that tender time. And then you just put them to bed. Basically, what you were doing before, you got to
Gotcha.
stick to it when you get back.
So, what can people expect for timing for it to kind of get back to normal? If you could ask.
Depending on how disruptive traveling sleep was, it
Yeah.
typically takes 1 to 3 nights. If it feels like it's taking longer, then
Mhm.
my guess is that their sleep was very disrupted during
Okay.
travel, or maybe it wasn't, they did not have a good sleep foundation before. I can help with that if needed, but it would take a little bit longer.
When it comes to baby sleep, is there like a perfect time to travel given an age? Like, is there, because there's the sleep regressions and teething. Like, would you say there's like a perfect age to travel or no?
I really think it's such a personal decision for the mom, right?
Okay.
Because I've done it all. I traveled with my first one when she was 6 weeks old,
Right.
and that was really hard because I was still trying to figure out breastfeeding. It was not ideal. It was a long car ride, and we had to stop and I had to figure out breastfeeding on the go. Some moms, they're like, I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to make sure I feel a little bit more confident in myself. Maybe when the baby's a little bit older too, because you don't want her or him getting sick. So I think it's definitely a personal decision. There's regressions at a lot of different ages within infants, and sleep will get disrupted, but then you can figure it out when you get home.
So more of on the mom kind of making that
I
decision.
think so.
Okay, that makes sense. We traveled with my first kid around 9 months. Yes.
Mhm.
I prefer before they start crawling. Maybe that's a little bit easier when they're non-mobile to do more things.
That's such a good point. With flying, I do have recommendations there of if you are comfortable flying with your baby, fly as much as you can before they're walking. They just like sleep on you. You can like wear them and
Yeah.
they're so easy. When they're walking, it was a tough age to fly. I just flew back from a trip over the weekend and my 20-month-old, she just does not like to sit still. And she's still young enough where you can't really put an iPad on her and she's not that into it. So I think the toughest age to fly is kind of like that 12 months to 2. That is like I try to avoid traveling. But then once they like can they're okay entertained with an iPad and or can
Yeah.
sit still for long, then you're back in. You're golden.
For our trip, it was like our daughter will be 4 in 2 days. She loves traveling. She's a vibe. It was like the baby. We're like, "Ah." It's good to know these tips, especially because summer's still here. We wanna make memories as a family. We don't wanna always just be in the house doing things. It was a
Yeah.
balance. You have to figure out what works for your family too. But those tips are
True.
super helpful for if someone's also in the same boat as I am, trying to figure out what to do with sleep. But I would love to kind of shift a little bit for talking about you, because this podcast does talk about moms and how they kind of balance the business and the family. So you said that your kids were 5 and 20.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. So how has becoming a mom helped change the way you support families?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would say for me, as I'm talking to my families and clients, I mean, I am in the thick of it with them. I am in the trenches. I am just as exhausted.
Mhm.
Thankfully, I am getting sleep, but motherhood in general, sleep or no sleep, you're just
Yeah.
exhausted, like mentally and physically. So I can relate to them and I've gained a lot of empathy. So my daughters are totally different. They've been different since trying to get pregnant. They were both night and day different. Their personalities are different. And that has given me an appreciation of how every family is different, every baby's different. And so for me, how I approach, I want to understand their goals and personalities. I want to learn about their baby and their toddler and what they're like, because then I can approach and give my recommendations differently. So I've learned some empathy there.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it's a second kid thing, but my daughter and my son, oop,
Yeah, it's so wild.
so crazy
Yeah.
how that happened. So what would you say is maybe the biggest challenge right now when you're trying to balance motherhood and sleep consulting?
Yeah, I think I'm learning like as a mom, like you can't do it all and finding balance. The big thing was like I recently just launched this business and like I guess it's been almost a year now, but it feels still new. I really had to learn boundaries. Like I don't want to be on my phone around my children. That's been a challenge, but I've had to figure that out. And that balance of I want to still be able to be fully present with my family and just learning how to do that.
Yeah. Is there anything that helps you kind of recharge, like as you as a person, that you seem like, wow, that actually made me feel good?
Really good question too. I love going on walks. with my dog, Teddy, who's still sitting on my lap.
Just there.
Yeah, I do have some really good friends in my neighborhood, and some days I just text them when I need them, like, "Hey, like, are you free for a walk?" We'll go on a walk for 30 minutes to an hour, and it's so refreshing. I wanted to walk yesterday though, and it was so hot.
I
I was
know.
so sweaty, but then it was a workout, so I'm like, great.
I was just thinking there is places that you paid to sweat and then work out.
Exactly.
Well, actually, I totally forgot about this. Before we talk a little bit more about motherhood and just some more questions for you, if someone is currently in summer and they're trying to do all the things, when should parents consider reaching out for support?
I would recommend more of a general statement around when you can start gentle sleep training. When your baby is healthy and gaining weight, starting around 10 weeks old, that is when your baby can sleep through the night from 7 to 7. And then as they get older, then the perfect naps will come. But truly, if you want your nights back,
Mhm.
10 weeks old. And
Wow.
so I feel like that's a huge misconception where a lot of families and moms feel like they can't get sleep for a full year. And it's like, no, you can get sleep sooner than that.
Yeah. So I guess when someone is interested in getting help from you, when's the best place to reach out to them?
Um,
They're ready for some additional resources for them, or what do you normally see from clients?
I mean, I see a little wide range. So I typically help 0 to 5 years old. And it's because babies change so much. So, like that infant stage, it's
Yeah.
whenever you are ready to get your sleep back. And so
Yeah.
that can range from during the 4 month sleep regression or maybe closer to 12 months. But then I'm sure you felt it. There's that 2 year sleep regression. That 2 to 3 years old, when they're really testing your boundaries,
Yeah.
where they're protesting, like, one more book, or, I want mommy, or I need more milk, or I have to go potty, like all of the things from 2 to 4 years old.
Mhm.
That's kind of when they regress. And I see a lot of families reach out.
I didn't even realize that's what it was. I was like, "What do you mean?" That makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yes.
Why is it so hard? Normally, it takes less time to go to bed. Like, why are we having this thing?
Bedtime gets later and later as they get older, and there's a way to squash that.
Oh, man, boundaries for everybody, right? So, is there anything else that you want to share with moms about sleep in general before we kind of go into some rapid fire personal questions for you?
I mean, I think the big thing is, especially as a first time mom, like I had no idea what I was doing. And I didn't know what was right, what was wrong. And it's just ask for help. Find a good network of friends or moms or help. Again, I will say this over and over again. You need sleep, and the mom can sleep at an early age when your baby's young. Just make sure you remember that.
Yeah, yeah. Mom's rest is important too. I kind of always close out podcasts with rapid fire random stuff because I had a minor in psychology and I love learning about people. Coffee or tea?
100% coffee.
Coffee. Yes.
What
Okay.
about you?
Oh, 100% coffee.
Yeah.
Love sweet tea, but I do love coffee.
Mhm.
Do you have a specific order that you like to or make?
So, well, I normally make it at home, but when I'm on trips and traveling, I'm always getting an iced latte with 1 pump of vanilla and oat milk.
Okay, perfect. I also make mine at home too, and I'm kind of like the person like, "What's on special? What am I feeling?" Like, I'll try
Uh,
something different.
you're a daredevil. I am not.
Oh. But then you, like, have something you hate, and you're like, "Darn it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of the time, it's pretty good. Disney or beach vacation?
My answer is beach because I feel like there's a lot more things that come with that. Disney is amazing, but it's like going to the parks, jam packed. It's not relaxing. Beach, when I go on beach trips with my husband and family, my
Yeah.
husband golfs, then I get a spa day. We take
Oh,
turns. The girls love the water and getting ice cream. So we have made a tradition with beach trips.
I agree. Like, the beach, I love they can just play on the sand, and that's so fun.
Yeah.
It's just so
Yeah.
simple. It's the simple
Yeah.
I would do definitely a beach too. Okay, what is the most underrated baby item in your opinion?
So the blackout shades, like
Black
that baby's room needs to be pitch black, dark in there. Like
okay.
I cannot stress that enough because you'll see families complain like my baby only takes 30-minute naps. Well, it's because their room is too bright.
Yes.
That's like a huge, I mean, there's a lot of different factors, but
It
that one's a big one that people don't think about.
yeah, I mean, it also affects us too. I just
Yeah.
got an eye mask because I was researching it about, and they're like, even the smallest light will do it. And I tried
Yeah.
it.
The early morning wake ups.
Yep, very interesting. What about one thing you'll never travel without? And that could be a mom product, and that can also be a baby product.
I recently have fallen in love with this. I'm not a tech person, so I'm geeking out about just a portable charger, like a
Yeah,
little cute one. And I just recently started traveling a lot with that.
love it.
And then with the baby, that portable sound machine.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a solid choice. So I kind of touched on this a little bit, but what is your favorite way to recharge outside of the walking with some friends?
I just love being with my family. Like, I definitely recharge. Well, it's both. It gets
Okay.
very exhausting, solo parenting. I've done a lot of that recently, and that's been very exhausting. But at the end of the day, if my husband's like, "What do you want to do on your birthday?" Or like, "What do you want to do for Mother's Day?" Like, I just want to be with my family.
Oh, I love that. That's so sweet. Um, Talking about motherhood, you said you were a first time mom and now you have two kids. Did you notice there's a rule that you let go of?
I was just talking to my friend about this. My daughter, my first one, did not have sweets until she was 2 years old. Like, did not
Okay.
have a lick of any sweet until she was two. My 20-month-old basically can eat whatever sweet she wants because her older sister is eating all the sweets. It's so hard to do that rule. So
Oh,
I've really let that one go. She was eating sweets at like 12 months old and she eats sweets just as much as my oldest, which is probably not great, but
everything. You know what I mean? Yeah.
exactly.
What about a piece of advice? We kind of talked about first time mom. It's very difficult. Do you have any advice, maybe particularly with sleep or just maybe broad advice?
I would say it's so exhausting and you have no idea what you're doing. Just ask for help and find your tribe of friends and tribe of people and don't feel like you have to do it alone. It is so overwhelming with sleep. I'm sure you've done this. Like I've done it where I'm Googling in the middle of the night. I'm just like, is this normal? Like, how do I get them back to sleep? But the thing about Google or ChatGPT, they have so much information out there. It's overwhelming. Like, what do I follow? And so I do recommend I can help with personalized plans that are catered for your baby. So yeah, that'd be my advice.
I remember I didn't know what a leap was. And I was like,
Oh,
why all of a sudden are they so fussy? And then I was like, oh, that makes sense. But that was something I was like, what is happening? Like,
yeah,
why is the sleep all
yeah.
weird now? Yeah, that's really good advice. Now, for you, so did you guys relocate to Charlotte or have you guys been in Charlotte for a while?
So we are not. So I'm a Midwest girl. I was born in Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. And then my husband's from Toledo, but we met at work, Minneapolis. We were living in Minnesota for a long time. And then just most recently, like 4 years ago, I decided to move down here because my husband's family all lives down here. So, oh,
Interesting. I was just curious for finding your tribe. Any suggestions for that first time mom, something that helped you or anything locally that you would recommend?
it's so hard. For me, thankfully, I had some college friends that we all had similar aged babies. One was actually born the same day as Maddie. So that was really cool. Some of them I lost in touch with, but knowing that we all had babies, we all joined a group text and we texted daily about
Oh,
this normal or like going on. I mean, we
yeah.
still text, not as much, but we still text quite often. And like babies have grown together the last 5 years. And so that's one way is just to try to find people that have similar children as you and just text them or reach out. We all need help.
That's the great thing about Charlotte that I've noticed recently. We have a lot of pockets, like there's Huntersville. Each of those pockets have cool things, and there's always something going on for moms to meet other moms. Like if you just type it in Google, there's so many cool things. I met a couple of my friends that way, just kind of going out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even like Facebook groups, like the
Oh,
local
yeah, yeah.
groups. There's a ton of Facebook mom groups. There's
Mhm.
also established groups like New Mom School.
Mm.
They do have programs just for new moms.
Yeah, I love how I don't remember, maybe I just wasn't researching it when I first had my daughter. I didn't know if those existed or I just was not aware of it. I
Mhm.
wish I knew that back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Well, if anyone is listening and they're like, "Hey, I'm so excited. I would love to connect with you." Can you share how listeners do that? And then also if you want to talk about any of the services that you offer.
Thanks for asking. So I do have an Instagram account. So I share sleep tips and I share my life with my littles. And so it's Stellar Baby Sleep. If you want to follow me, you can just reach out via DM to if you just have any sleep questions. I am always happy to offer free help. So just reach out. But if you do want more of that personalized support, I do create plans. They're very holistic. And so I help you with your feed support, your daytime routine, your sleep environment. I take a look at it all, help you with your nighttime sleeping. And I can help you with daily tech support if that's something that you would be interested in or need help with. And yeah, you can also just call me for an hour and I can help you just over the phone. So yeah, I have a lot of different services I can provide, whatever is your preference.
Oh, that's amazing. Good. I love how it can kind of fit everyone's need based on
Mhm.
where they're at. That's perfect. And I'll list everything that you shared in the show notes below.
Nice.
But before we close out, is there one thing that you want every tired mom to remember from the end of this conversation? Is there one thing you want them just to bring home?
You're not alone, but you also don't have to be exhausted with sleep. Motherhood is tiring enough and it's exhausting enough, but you don't need to be struggling overnight. I can help you, or there's ways that you can figure out great sleeping.
That's perfect. Good. Yay. Well, I hope this conversation helps mamas that are also traveling this summer. Maybe they just had their baby and they're thinking about it long term, like how do we go about it? I hope we covered some topics that most people don't hear about very often or talk about. So I hope that this conversation was very helpful for those. And I will make sure to include your information below. But I want to thank you so much for sharing with me. And I do hope that we meet in person very soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I truly hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you are on social media, you can follow me at Be Well and Ground. And if you happen to be a local in the Lake Norman area, come take a class with me. I teach prenatal, toddler, and adult yoga, and I would love to see you guys on the mat. So thanks again for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.